Have you ever pulled back, stopped texting her, stopped calling, thinking maybe, just maybe, she'd feel your absence, that your silence would echo in her mind, that she'd realize what she lost and come back. But then, she didn't. Instead, she's out there posting, smiling, laughing like nothing ever happened. And there you are, stuck in a quiet room, scrolling her stories, replaying memories, wondering, why does it hurt me, but not her? Here's the truth. Most men never get told. Silence is not power, unless it leads to growth. Sitting in silence, hoping she notices, isn't strength. It's passive pain. It's emotional limbo, disguised as self-control. And I get it, because I've been there too, thinking silence was a message. But silence, without evolution, that's not presence, it's absence. It's disappearing without becoming. No. One notices a man who disappears but stays the same. So ask yourself, is your silence making you stronger or just more invisible? Here's the part nobody tells your silence. It's not fooling her. Because silence, when it's still emotionally attached, isn't strength. It's just quiet desperation. You may think pulling back makes you seem strong, okay? That if you stop texting, she'll wonder where you went. But the truth, she can still feel your energy orbiting her, okay? Women have this deep, almost instinctive ability to read emotional signals. Not because they're psychic, because for centuries, their survival depended on sensing who was strong, okay, and who was pretending. So if you're sitting there refreshing her Instagram, waiting for a sign, hoping she'll miss you, she knows, not through words, but through the weight of your silence. And ironically, that confirms her choice to walk away. Real silence, the kind that shifts power, doesn't carry longing. It carries freedom. So ask yourself, are you silent to grow or silent just to get noticed? Let me be clear, y'all. Silence isn't about punishment. It's about peace. It's not a tactic to get her attention. It's not a strategy to play hard to get. It's what happens when you finally realize you've outgrown the story you were trying to stay in. You don't stop texting because you're angry. You stop because there's simply nothing left to say. The connection no longer fits the man you're becoming. It's not ghosting, it's growing. Like a tree shedding old leaves, not out of bitterness, but because it's time to make room for new ones. And here's the shift. When silence is rooted in emotional detachment, it carries power. It's calm. It's clean. It no longer seeks some reaction. So ask yourself, you quiet because you're wounded or because you're finally free? Something strange happens when your silence isn't empty, but earned. You stop posting for her. You stop moving for her. You stop living with one eye on her reactions, okay? And that's when the shift begins. You hit the gym not to prove anything, but because your body deserves it. Okay? You chase your goals not to impress, but because your vision got sharper, slowly. The world feels you changing, and yes, she notices. Maybe it's a story someone else tells her. Maybe it's a photo that doesn't look like the man she left. Now she's wondering, did I misread him? Did I walk away right before he became who he was meant to be? Okay. That's the irony of real growth. Doesn't chase her, but it makes her turn her head. 'Cause you're no longer predictable. You're no longer waiting. You're thriving. Let's get honest for a second. You can't fake evolution. She'll feel it if your growth is just a show. Posting gym selfies, flexing a new car, flashing cash, it might fool strangers, but it doesn't fool her. And more importantly, it doesn't fool you, because real growth doesn't scream for attention. It shows up quietly in the way you carry yourself, in the way your peace can't be shaken, in the way your eyes no longer search for her reaction. You see, growth isn't about proving she was wrong. It's about finally realizing you were worth more all along. It starts inside when no one's watching. Spiritual strength, mental clarity, emotional stillness. That's the kind of change she can't ignore. Because when it's real, it speaks without needing to say a word. You gave her your time, your thoughts, your energy. And for a while, it felt right. But here's the truth that stings a little. Your energy was never meant to depend on her attention. You see, a man's power starts leaking the moment he builds his identity around someone else's recognition. And now that she's gone, that's not your downfall. That's your wake-up call. Take that same energy and pour it into your body, train harder, into your money, level up your skills, into your mind, read, reflect, rewire. She didn't see your value. That's fine. She wasn't supposed to, because this chapter isn't about proving your worth to her. It's about discovering it for yourself. No more borrowing, no more waiting. It's time to reclaim what's always been yours. Here's something most men don't realize. Women aren't drawn to your past. They're drawn to your momentum. It's not who you were when she left. It's who you become after she's gone that makes her pause. And nothing shifts her perception faster than seeing another woman admire the man you've become. That's when the questions start in her mind. Did I give up too soon? He more than I thought. But let's be clear, this isn't about revenge. You don't evolve just to prove a point. You evolve so deeply that her opinion simply doesn't matter anymore. Because when your life speaks for itself, when your growth is undeniable, you don't need closure. You've outgrown the conversation. So stop trying to make her regret. Start becoming someone she could never access again, even if she wanted to. Let's be real. How much of your energy are you still leaking into someone who's no longer there? Checking her profile, replaying old messages, holding your breath every time your phone lights up. It's not love, it's a habit, and it's draining the very power you need to move forward. Masculine energy isn't passive, it's directional, okay? It flows toward building something, not chasing what's already crumbled. So, here's the shift. Stop feeding the ghost. Okay, she's not coming back. And if she does, it won't be because you waited. It'll be because you became something greater in her absence. This isn't about emotion anymore. It's about standards. It's about looking at your life and saying, from this point on, my energy fuels progress, not the past. Now that you've stopped chasing, what do you do with all that energy? Simple. You build, start with your body, hit the gym, even when you don't feel like it, because every drop of sweat reminds you you're still in control. Pick up a new skill, something high value, something that forces you to grow. Set routines that don't ask how you feel. They tell you who you are. And here's the key. You don't have to announce it. Be silent, but build. Let your actions do the talking. Let your results echo in rooms she no longer has access to. Every morning, before the world can soften your focus, harden your mind. Because this isn't about her anymore. It's about who you promised yourself you'd become. She didn't walk away from a perfect man. She walked away from someone who was still finding his strength. But the man who doesn't flinch anymore, the one who doesn't look back, doesn't beg, doesn't need her to feel whole, the man she never saw coming. This, T is your wake-up call. You've waited long enough. Not for her, but for you to finally rise. Stop hoping she'll reach out. Stop scrolling, checking, wondering. Start becoming. Rebuild, rethink, reclaim. Because the real victory isn't in getting her back. It's in becoming so grounded, so focused, so powerful. Her opinion no longer defines your worth. You're not vanishing. You're evolving. And this is just the beginning.